What's up, everyone? Welcome back today. Normally I make videos that I consider to be kid-friendly, but I think I got up on the wrong side of the bed for a story like this today. So last night, there was a mass shooting reported at a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia, and this actually came as no surprise to me because in my live stream yesterday, I talked at length about how Walmart has been in the news a lot lately. Just last week, the man who stole an airplane and threatened to crash it into a Walmart in Tupelo, Mississippi, allegedly died while in federal custody. That guy was named Corey Patterson. Again, see my live stream from yesterday for more. Notice how this Fox headline mentions the mass shooting from Colorado Springs over the weekend. In my posts on that event, I explained how Colorado Springs is located in El Paso County in Colorado. And the shooting there in Colorado Springs was heavily connected to the mass shooting at a Walmart in El Paso back in 2019. Of course, the governor of Colorado is named Polis, which has the same consonants as El Paso. And so now, here we have our octogenarian president scolding us for not supporting his proposed abolishment of the most beautiful document in human history, the Bill of Rights. Remember when this dumb, limp-dicked, empty-brained puppet motherfucker said that you had to take an experimental vaccine in order to keep your job? A vaccine which has now been proven to cause debilitating health effects like myocarditis, pericarditis, and who knows what the fuck else they're not telling us about. So ask yourself, how come all of these shootings happen at big corporate national chain stores and never a local establishment or some mom and pop store? And the answer to that is pretty simple. Walmart has had their debt completely bought up by the federal government, actually the Federal Reserve, which is technically not our government, but manages the money supply. So this means that the same people propping Walmart up are the same people who are intentionally destroying your purchasing power by inflating the economy. So enough of my ranting. On this channel, we take an intellectual approach to the conspiracies being perpetrated by world governments, and we expose their Kabbalistic practices using the same techniques they use: astrology, numerology, and arithmancy, through the use of Gematria and chronomancy, or the practice of choosing a particular date for a ritual. This ritual fell on the 59th anniversary of the JFK assassination. Notice how in Gematria, John F. Kennedy equals 59. So does his nickname Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy summing to 59. Again, this being the 59th anniversary of the JFK assassination. Of course, he was shot with a gun. But we're also going to look at how this shooting is connected to the numerology of Walmart and its founder, Sam Walton, who died on a very suspicious date. This is connected to his birthday and death date, as we will see. For starters, I want to talk about a significant cipher in the language of Gematria called Satanic Gematria. In this cipher, the phrase Satanic Gematria sums to 666, which is the 36th triangular number. Notice how the cipher begins on the number 36. This is all by neat design. Well, half of 666 is 333. Notice how Walmart sums to 333 in Satanic Gematria. Measuring from the mass shooting at Walmart in El Paso back in 2019, one of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history, to the date of last night's incident, is exactly 3 years, 3 months, and 3 weeks apart. Of course, this incident occurring at night, news breaking today, the 23rd. But not only that, if you measure from the death of Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, it's been exactly 30 years and 33 weeks after his death. When you write out JFK assassination using this same method of Gematria, the Satanic cipher, notice how JFK assassination equals 747. When Sam Walton died, He was 74 years and 7 days old. In the alphabetic order, JFK assassination equals 187. This is often called the homicide code, a word associated with murder. On the date he died, Sam Walton, it was 10,870 days after the establishment of Walmart, which was founded on July 2nd of 1962. So this guy already synced up with numbers of the JFK assassination, and now a major shooting at one of his stores on the anniversary of the event. Also notice how Walton's death fell 11,188 days ago, which is also 30 years and 33 weeks. This 188 is found in the Latin gematria of Chesapeake. In the alphabetic order, Walmart shooter sums to 188. Back in 2019, the Walmart shooter was named Patrick Crucius, which equals 188. We'll talk more about the rest of these ciphers in a second. But first, let's take a glance at the Latin cipher. This is the cipher that I consider to be most significant, especially outside of the base 4 methods. This is an extended method which yields very large numbers. In this method, El Paso sums to 226. On the date of that El Paso shooting, it was widely reported that 20 were killed, with 26 being injured. This is all part of this 226 code. Notice how the mayor of Chesapeake, where yesterday's shooting occurred, has gematria of 2626 and 2266 in these same methods. El Paso summing to 226 and 266. Also the words sacrifice summing to 206 and 226 in these same methods. Last night's shooting was exactly 22,060 days after the founding of Walmart Inc., its official name, and using capital letters, a cipher called capitals mixed that you see on the top of your screen, again using the alphabetic order. Notice how Walmart Inc. has gematria of 226. Also, Sam Walton would be 38,226 days old today. As far as the 38 in this number, Colorado, which this shooting is being compared to in the media, is the 38th state. Colorado has gematria of 38. Its governor, Jared Polis. Jared equals 38. But let's take a look at the numerology of yesterday's shooting. Notice how yesterday had what we call a life lesson number of 39, 11 plus 22 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. On top of this, yesterday was also the date that leaves 39 days in the year. If you multiply 39 times 39, you get a product of 1521. 1521 just happens to be the address of the Walmart where this shooting took place. So let's talk more about why this date was chosen and how it was connected to JFK. So measuring from the shooting last night to Sam Walton's next birthday, you'll see it was a span of 128 days. Well, this stands out because the two Walmart shootings, El Paso and now Chesapeake, were separated by 1,208 days on the calendar. 1,208 is the gematria of John F. Kennedy in this Latin method. Again, it was 59 years exactly after JFK died, John F. Kennedy and Jack Kennedy both summing to 59. And here comes Joe Biden, coming after the Second Amendment. Second Amendment sums to 59 in reduction. This is also the number associated with kill, which sums to 59. This is also the 17th prime number, kill summing to 17 in reduction. The current mayor of Chesapeake, Richard Wayne West, notice how his gematria matches Chesapeake, 196. Well, the year 1960 is when JFK was elected. And how appropriate for this El Paso Walmart shooter, Patrick Wood Crucius. Notice how his name equals 245, which matches JFK assassination and also matches helicopter crash. I mention this because yesterday there was a helicopter crash in North Carolina that I also linked to JFK. Of course, JFK died on his mercurial birthday, so did Kobe Bryant. This is really its own video in itself. But that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Charlotte, North Carolina equals 128, so does Charlotte. Kobe Bryant born on a date with 128 numerology. We talked about this with John F. Kennedy, 1208. 1,208 days between the two Walmart shootings. So next I want to show you how these people essentially coded astrology into this event. Now, John F. Kennedy was born on and died on a couple of very interesting dates. He was born on May 29th and died on November 22nd. These are the same two dates that two solar eclipses occurred on 2 years after he was born. May 29th and November 22nd. And these weren't just any eclipses. This May 29th solar eclipse was the longest total eclipse in over 500 years, 6 minutes and 51 seconds. The annular eclipse that same year, on November 22nd, was 11 minutes and 37 seconds, the longest annular eclipse in almost 3 centuries. Now, the number 1919 is central to the eclipse code, which is centered around the number 1331. But when you write out the number 1331, it sums to 1919, which again is the year of these two eclipses. The shooter in El Paso, his name was Patrick Wood Crucius, which has a Gematria value of 1919. He carried the shooting out in the year 19. It was first reported that he killed 19 people, even. Measuring from the first Great American Total Solar Eclipse from the year 2017 to the date of last night's shooting was 1,919 days. Remember, there's 19 years in the moon's metonic cycle, meaning there's often exactly 19 years between eclipses. The word eclipse also equals 192. Today is 1,920 days after the first Great American Eclipse. And check out how Walmart shooter gives us a 190, like the number 19. That guy's name was Patrick Crucius, which sums to 190. These are numbers all connected to the solar eclipse code, solar eclipse 190. Also consider how the sun is the 19th card on the tarot. 19, the number that connects the sun and the moon together. Well, when you write out the word sun, it sums to 54, also 27. These are the same numbers as JFK. JFK summing to 54 and 27. Chesapeake's mayor, Rick West, sums to 54. And if you instead measure to the second Great American Total Solar Eclipse in the year 2024, we find that this shooting fell 504 days before it. Without the end date, it's 503 days. The name John Kennedy equals 53. Also consider how solar eclipse sums to both 53 and 503. Today, 503 days before the next solar eclipse over the United States. I also thought it was appropriate here that, let's see, was it Rick West? Oh, I'm sorry, the name John Kennedy equals 1202. And this brings us back to this Colorado Springs shooting. at a nightclub, Club Q. Notice how this shooting ended at 12:02 in the morning, 12:02 a.m., connecting to John Kennedy, 12:02. Again, this shooting heavily connected to the Walmart shooting. 12:02 is also the gematria of City of Colorado Springs, which is the official name of Colorado Springs. 12:02. The shooting there ending at 12:02. Now, the shooting in Colorado Springs was 1,205 days after the Walmart shooting in El Paso. And remember, Colorado Springs is in El Paso County. El Paso sounds like Polis, the governor. And check out this governor's birthday, Jared Polis, the first ever openly gay man to hold the position of governor in the United States. The shooting in Colorado Springs happened on International Transgender Day of Remembrance. And normally no one would care about that date, but Joe Biden mentioned that that should be a federal holiday. Not a federal holiday, but a day that we recognize on November 20th last year. And November 20th is Joe Biden's birthday. November 20th, also the date of this shooting in Colorado Springs. Check out how the word transgender sums to 125 and 172. And not only was this shooting 1,205 days after El Paso, but it was also exactly 172 weeks. And the word transgender equals 172 in reverse. Again, these are all the same values as John Kennedy, 125, 172, and 53. Are they trying to tell us something about what John Kennedy really was? Certainly seems that way, doesn't it? But think about how much I talked about this number 226 early on in the post. El Paso, the mayor of Chesapeake, sacrifice, Walmart, all syncing up with 226. Well, this was another major number in the Colorado Springs shooting. Jared Polis, his full name sums to 226. Meanwhile, the mayor of Colorado Springs, John Suthers, his full name equals 2260. The phrase LGBTQ 226, like the word sacrifice 226. So look, I'm not saying these are fake shootings. I don't really know what's going on, but it's very, very obvious to me that someone wants very badly to disarm the American public. And this is where it begins. Oh, we got to stop the assault rifles, but then stopping the assault rifles isn't enough. And then they come for the pistols, right? Because in Colorado Springs, it was an AR and a pistol. And now this time it's just a pistol. So do you really trust the government here and what the police say? I think you'd be a bit retarded.